Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my review of Jessica Jones Season 3. Now, Jessica Jones Season 3 is the last and final show in the not too recently, but in the canceled Marvel Netflix experiment. The Marvel Netflix experiment, I've talked about it before, about all the Netflix shows getting canceled. And it's funny because all the shows getting canceled, it never really dawned on me until I started seeing the actors in different things. Like, I most recently saw the actor who plays Misty Knight and the actor who played Bullseye in Daredevil Season 3. They're on a pilot on a show on ABC or on Fox. On Fox or ABC. It's on one of those channels. They're on a pilot on some, crime, on some, lawyer show. And I saw Mike Coulter in a movie not that long ago, or in a trailer for a movie not that long ago. So, yeah, a lot of these actors are moving on, or at least trying to move on to other things, which makes the whole reality of those shows getting canceled. And I'll get into it near the end of this review about the potential of these shows coming back one day. But all the actors moving on to stuff makes it a bit more difficult. It makes it more plausible, makes the whole them being rebooted and more plausible than not. But hopefully I'll get to it later on, but this is the last one. After this, there are no others. There's not going to be a Daredevil Season 4. There's not going to be any more Luke Cage, no Punisher, no Iron Fist, nothing. No Defenders, nothing. This is it. And this show, and as the last one, this show had a benefit that the other three did not have. Now, Daredevil sort of, well, at least Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Punisher didn't have, but the others didn't have. This one was in production. This one was just wrapping up its production and post stuff as the cancellations went down. So they heard about the cancellations while they were in production. So they were able to sort of wiggle them maneuver themselves accordingly to end this show on a note that could be potentially season ending, that could be a potential series ender, or could be a potential, more to go on. I think that Daredevil ended on a better minor spoiler. I think Daredevil ended on a slightly better, this is it. Literally, if this was the end of Daredevil, you'd be like, yeah, there's literally no other knots to tie because, by the end of Daredevil Season 3, Bullseye's, paralyzed or seemingly paralyzed, and Wilson Fisk is in prison, and Foggy and the gang are back together. So it's like, yeah, there's really no other threads out there. The Hand's gone. I mean, you don't know what happened to Elektra, but it's like, it's like, whatever. But this one ended on a sort of a similar note. It's not like, oh man, Iron Fist and fucking Luke Cage. Ironically, Power Man and Iron Fist, the two double duo, dynamic duo themselves in Marvel. Ironically, they ended on cliffhangers. They ended on, I can't wait to see what happens next shit. Luke Cage Season 2 had one of the most ballsy, most awesome endings ever, with Luke going to the dark side, sorta, or Luke trying to find a better way to deal with crime by essentially controlling crime in Harlem. Essentially, Luke came to the conclusion that, oh, well, fuck, I gotta control crime. And Danny in Iron Fist Season 2 coming to the conclusion that I'm not ready, that I am not ready to hold to that. Not that I'm not ready to hold the Iron Fist, but I'm not mentally in a place where I should have it. And giving it up, and then going on a mental and literal journey to find himself and find who he is, and then coming to the conclusion of, oh, Orson Randall. It's like, oh my god, the next season of both of those shows, I wanted them so bad. I never can't believe Iron Fist got me hyped and let me down. Ain't that some shit? One of the worst shows that Marvel ever produced got me hyped and then let me down by getting canceled. But I mean, it didn't get canceled because of ratings. All these shows didn't get canceled because of ratings. All these shows got canceled because of Netflix's petty war. But that's a story for another day. Now, I went on that little tangent because Jessica Jones is the last one. So I want us to sort of remember what was. And Jessica Jones as the last season of one of these Netflix shows is exactly what it should be. I think Jessica Jones Season 3 was... it's not as good as Season 1. But I will say it's up there. It's in the top. It's up there. I put it's about as good as Luke Cage Season 1. It's about as good as Luke Cage Season 1. Daredevil season 2, like it's one of the best. You know, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was very, very, very good. Hold up, sorry, I gotta. Sorry, but I thought it was very, very, very good. I thought it was solid. I thought it worked on many levels. It had a couple problems, but in the end, I thought it was a great send-off season. I think it was great. It was a great representation of the character, of her arc, of who she is. And, you know, dipping back into this Netflix world was just fun. It was just fun. And it's the last one. And honestly, it's funny because before this came out, in my mind, I was like, I don't even care. Why do I care? Like, Netflix doesn't care, so why do I care to even watch this? And, like, it's obvious Netflix doesn't care. They haven't really promoted this. There hasn't been a trailer out. I mean, there's shit on the internet, but there used to be trailers on TV. Like, there used to be trailers. There used to be tons of shit. Like, there was that whole thing where you could call her phone number and get a recorded message by Christian Ritter that's in Jessica, in character as Jessica Jones going, like, just insulting you and then saying, leave a message. Like, there used to be a whole bunch of shit that they got rid of. They just got rid of it. And like, they don't, because they don't care. Netflix just kind of wants to rub this on, like, push this under the carpet that no matter how many views this show gets or how great it does, all these shows are done, you know, they don't care. Like, and that kind of shows you that they didn't care. And I felt that kind of way about it, you know. I felt similar to it, but eventually I talked myself into just watching it. And I ended up binging it in like 3 days. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's better than season 2 by far. And I was one of the people who liked season 2. I liked Jessica Jones season 2, but I thought it suffered greatly from Kilgrave not being there. That one suffered greatly from Kilgrave not being there. From Kilgrave not being there, for the lack of action, from Jessica being less of, like, being really overly emotional and, like, less of a PI. It had a lot of stuff bogging it down. I think I ended up giving it like a 7, a 6.5 to a 7. It was lower. And this one is a step back up. I'd probably give this one an 8.5 to a 9. It's not quite like Jessica Jones season 1. Jessica Jones season 1 was a 10 to me. I love Jessica Jones season 1. Jessica Jones season 1 blew my fucking skull off. I love that show. Jessica Jones season 3, good return to form. Now, I mean, let's get into the story. Season 3 takes place pretty much, well, immediately after season 2. Go figure. Takes place after season 2. A couple months, I think it says months later. We don't really get into specifics, but it's supposed to be like maybe 3-4 months later. Everyone is in a different place. Jessica is in the best place she's been. She's stable. She doesn't like being called a hero, but she's still heroic. She's stable. She's more heroic. In fact, the crazy part about Jessica is she's the stable one. You know, in the past, like, Malcolm was a good guy and he was stable, and Trish was her stability, you know, the person holding it down, and Jerry was like, she was mean, but, you know, she was who she was. No, season 3, everybody's off the record. Fucking Trish is off their fucking mind, out of her fucking mind. To get back to that, Malcolm is out there working for Hogarth. Jerry doing some straight up fixer shit. I'm talking about, like, literally making problems erase kind of shit. Like, I mean, everyone is losing their shit, man. Everyone is, like, falling apart. And Jessica, ironically, is the stable, like, force. Is the stable force in everyone's life. And it's kind of fun to see it the other way, because it used to be that Jessica needed to surround herself with stable people so that she could fucking be stable. But now the roles have reversed, and that's kind of a cool little role reversal where she's finally in a place in her life, in her mind, in herself, where she can be the stable person. She can be the stability holding people together. And it's kind of great to see her go from that. Now she doesn't really have like an arc or like she doesn't really have like such a arc that like completely changes her character over the course of this. It's just they play up her more detective stuff. Like, they play the detective stuff very well in this. Like, they remind you that Jessica Jones as a show, at its heart, is a private investigation show. It's a PI show. She is a PI, and she's one of the best PIs in America. Like, she is a really good PI, and they really play that up. They do a great job playing that up. And Trish, and to get into it, but Jessica's not too much to talk about. Ironically, she is just a stabling force who at this point sort of kind of knows who she's gonna be. She just needs stuff basically this entire series. I mean, entire third season is just reinforcing how she feels. Making her finally become completely comfortable with being a hero and what that entails. And really, if I had to sum up the series in terms of its meaning, because most shows, Stan Lee once said, a story without a heart or a meaning or a lesson is a story without a lesson or a meaning behind it is basically heartless. It's basically something, it doesn't have a heart. In this show, if I had to describe its heart, its meaning, this series, I keep saying this series is what does it goes from are you a hero through the first 2 seasons to what does it mean to be a hero? That's basically what this entire third season is about. What does it mean to be a hero? Does it mean doing the perfect thing? Does it mean doing the hard thing? Does it mean doing the right thing, even if it's the hard thing? Or does it mean, and how do you interpret what a hero is? That's basically what this entire third season's about. It's really subtle about it, though. It's not as in your face, but since I said it, you'll see it when you're watching season 3. It's about what does it mean to be a hero? What does it take to be a hero? And how it just shows the trials and just how difficult it is to do this. And how no one wants to be in this position of being a hero. Honestly, this season, really, there are many seasons, like in season 1 and 2, there are times where you're just like, geez, Jessica, geez, you have superpowers, just be a hero. It's not that big of a deal. This season is the season that really defines why Jessica had such a hard time being a hero and had such a hard time accepting it, because this season, above all the other 2, really puts emphasis on it is difficult to try to be a hero, and there's reasons why she resented trying to be it. But to get into the other stuff, Trish was great. Trish was great. I'd say season 2 she was annoying / great, because there's times where she was great and times where she was annoying. This season she's great, and I can't really get into Trish without spoiling anything. Let's just say this. She sort of kind of becomes Hellcat, and she has a moment just like Luke Cage, where she's wearing that comic book accurate Hellcat suit and goes, what the fuck? Malcolm is once again also trying to find, I've talked about this, he's trying to find his way, he's working for Hogarth, he's kind of got this thing where he's like, he doesn't feel good about the shit that she has him doing, but he keeps talking himself into doing it, okay, I'm just doing it so I can do this, I'm just doing it so I can do this. And it's kind of one of those situations, the classic situation of, I'm not a bad guy, I'm just doing this so that I can not have to do this ever again. And, he doesn't feel good about it, which it makes sense why he wouldn't feel good about it. Jerry is interesting as always, is just devious. Jerry is her manipulative, devious self, even though she has this disease that is killing her. I can't remember the name of the disease, but she's dying. And Jerry has an interesting story. She has this interesting story where she where she meets up with this girl, with her old college fling from wherever she went to college, an old college fling, and she's just, without getting into all the nitty gritty of it, she basically tries to make her fall back and make it to where her college fling has no choice but to come back to her, because her college fling's moved on, she's married, she has a kid. But she's like, fuck that, I'm dying and I don't want to die alone. And that's kind of a nice thing. That's kind of a nice little thing they start touching on too, is he's the idea, with Jerry specifically, the idea of, if you want to it's lonely at the top. It's real lonely at the top. And once you get to the top, what happens when you're dying? You guess what? You're dying alone. That's basically, it's guess what? You broke all those backs. You stabbed all those people in the back. You cut all these corners. You did all this shit. And guess what? You're still dying. That's the one thing that's the equalizer of all men is death. No matter how much you do, guess what, bitch? You're gonna die just like that homeless person. And except that homeless person gonna die with a dog, Jerry. You're gonna die alone. And her going through that, and Jerry, and everything that Jerry does is so great, because you gotta look at it from the vision of someone who knows that they're dying. And it's just but I love it because she just can't stop being manipulative. And I love Jerry. She was great. They introduced a new character. I can't remember his name, but he's this interesting character who has this ability to tell when people are bad. It gives a migraine. And depending on how bad the person and how close he is to him, the migraine worsens. and it's a legit power. And he's kind of an interesting foil for Jessica because his demeanor is a lot like Jessica. He's a lot like a female. He's a lot like a male version of Jessica. Only he didn't have Trish and other people in his life. Speaking of Trish, her mom's back and she's great as always. Dorothy, I love Dorothy. Dorothy Walker. Dorothy is fun. I love her. She grew on me. First season, I hated her. Second season, she was annoying. This season, it was like, she grew on me because she's so witty and she's always got this snappy comeback and she's one of those pageant moms, celebrity moms who's just like, I'm on it, I got you, I'm pushing you, baby girl, she's fun. She's real fun. But the villain of the show is a guy named Salinger. He's a serial killer. Now, this is a character from the comic books, and the comic book name is Real Killer. Go figure, it's a fun. But Real Killer is a serial killer in the Marvel comic book. So, Salinger is an actual villain from comic books. I don't know whose villain he is, but yeah, he's a serial killer. He's a super smart serial killer who who pushes the boundaries of Jessica Jones because he uses the law and stuff against them because he knows that people are already on edge around super people. And they kind of play with the Accords a little bit too. Like, they bring it up slightly, about like, oh, well, Jessica, how like, they really do, like, how they're like, oh, well, Jessica's not a threat to, like, the world, so, like, they haven't really pushed the Accords down, like, seems like they haven't really pushed the Accords on the lower level shit. But yeah, Salinger is an interesting character because he's not like Kilgrave where you're terrified, like, you're terrified of what he's gonna do, well, not, but you are sort of terrified of what he's gonna do because he's using the law and the lack of ability to because he knows that these superheroes just have to punch you. And he's like, well, you can't legally just punch me and throw me in jail without any proof. And like, he's using the law and using people's fears to get away with murder, to literally get away with murder against these superheroes. I mean, literally get away with murdering people. And his whole thing is people having unearned things. That's his whole stick. Is people having unearned things. So people being in a position that they shouldn't be in because they really aren't that good. Like, that's his whole stick. Or there's whole things about Jessica. Oh, you have powers that you shouldn't have, that you cheated, Yeah, sure, you got power, but you shouldn't have it. Like things like that nature. His whole stick is a little cheesy, but the conundrum but the best of villains, the best of villains do things to make the heroes think. And the villain makes the hero change. And by the end of this series, he does make Jessica think, and he does change people. By the end of this series, he makes everyone think about, law and, like, how fucked up it is. And, like, the show makes you pissed off at the law. Because literally, it's just like, this dude's murdering people, and Jessica can't do shit about it because, what's she gonna do? Knock him out and leave him there and just get off. And then they sue her because she's a public figure. Really puts more emphasis on the whole hiding your identity thing. It makes sense why Daredevil and shit hide their identity. Is like, yeah, bro, like, they just come and sue you. Like, literally, there's a scene where Trish, as Hellcat, like, stops a guy from raping a woman. And she knocks him down, and then all of a sudden, and then you hear later on, the guy's trying to sue her. And it's like, really? He's like, oh, well, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to sue. I'm like, bro, you tried to rape a girl, and you're trying to sue someone for stopping you? Like, what kind of shit is that? And it's just like, it really emphasizes like how fucked up the law is, how complicated the law is, and how you can fuck the law over. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what no cop says. I don't care what no judge says. I don't care what no lawyer says. If you are good enough and you know your shit, you can just fuck the law over. And there's nothing no one can do about it. You can damn near get away with murder, bro. You can get away with murder. You can get away with rape. You can get away with all kinds of shit. As long as you know how to work it. Everyone in the room can know that you did this shit. And it doesn't matter. Like, that's how the law works. And this show puts so much emphasis on that I loved it. But in short, Jessica Jones Season 3 was great. It was everything. It wasn't quite as great as Season 1, but nothing's going to beat that with Kilgrave. But it's one of the best shows. It's one of the best Marvel Netflix seasons on Netflix. It's a good send-off for the entire Netflix thing experience as a whole. And it leaves Jessica in a great place. It leaves all the characters in interesting places, especially Trish. Trish is the MVP of the show. She gets tons of screen time. She becomes Hellcat, and different things happen to her. And there's a nice turn here. There's a nice twist that you may or may not see coming because you may have seen so many comic book movies that you think you know what's going to happen, and then it does not go that way. I give Jessica Jones Season 3 an 8.5 to a 9. I thought it was great. I thought it had a lot of heart. I thought it had the detective stuff was good. The new characters were good. All the characters were in complicated, different, unique situations. No character's clean. The cleanest character is Jessica. Jessica's finally come into her own and finally accepted being a hero. I think it all worked out in the end. I'm sad to see this cast go. I'm sad to see Christian Ritter go. I hope that maybe Marvel can pick him back up and put him on Hulu or FX. I hope that all these shows can come back and go to Hulu or FX. But, it really didn't hit me until the end of this. That is over. And I'm kind of saddened. I mean, we got Ghost Rider and Hellscream coming down the pipeline on Hulu. We still got Cloak and Dagger and Runaways coming on Hulu as well. We still got some stuff. We got the Marvel, MCU stuff that's going to be on Disney Plus, in a few months time. But still, I really love these shows. I really did. These shows grew on me. They became a thing that I couldn't wait to see. They became a thing that I just binge through and just think about for days on at a time. As soon as I stopped watching this, I just got all nostalgic and started rewatching some of the other shows. I'm rewatching Defenders as we speak. And it's I'm saddened that I won't get to see this again. I'm saddened that this is it. And that I don't have to get to see Christian Ritter. Because it turns out, because as reported by many people, big sources, that these shows were designed to be 5-season shows. So Jessica Jones and Daredevil were designed for 2 more seasons. These shows were designed for 5-season arcs. So this was not supposed to be the end. This was not supposed to be the end of any of these shows. It's not like one of those shows that got canceled because they didn't have views, or a show that got canceled because, or a show that just came to an end because that's all they had to say. This show got canceled because Netflix is going to war with Disney, and they don't want to promote any of Disney's anything Marvel, because all Marvel is going to be owned by Disney. So they don't want to promote anything Marvel, even if it's benefiting them to do so. That's why. It's not the whole cost of the shows. It's not, no, because those shows are some of the most watched things on Netflix. It is. And they're popular shows, and Netflix, no matter what Netflix tries to say. So that's why these shows got canceled. And it's really heartening, but, it is what it is. I can't really, what's done is done. But I enjoyed this season of Jessica Jones. I had a great time with it, and I wish all the people on this project, I hope you guys come back. But if you don't, I wish you luck on all your other projects. I can't wait to see all your other projects, but yeah, man, this is it. This is the end of Netflix, Marvel's Netflix. But anyways, thank you for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. And what did you think of Jessica Jones Season 3? I'm saddened by the end. I'm saddened that it's come to an end, but I had a blast with this last season. I binged through it. I binged through it. I wanted to just see what was happening next and see what was happening next. And, it's been a while since I've had that. But you know what? Hopefully Hulu will pick it up. Thank you for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Like I said, see you on the next one.